Okay, so I was watching a video by Centron Brandon, and he made a comment how eating grains will make your hair fall out because it will leach minerals from your body. And it's true that grains have some anti-nutrients, but those anti-nutrients can also be neutralized by soaking or sprouting. And for someone to say, like, across the board that grains are going to make your hair fall out is kind of an overstatement, and it's kind of inaccurate, because if you just think about it, there's a lot of people in the world who consume grains and who have very, very thick heads of hair. I know guys who eat a standard American diet loaded with white flour and other unnatural foods who look like a wolf. You know, a wolf. That's how much hair that they have. It's insane. So it's kind of dishonest when someone will actually make a statement like that. And, you know, it's possible that maybe they just didn't think of it or didn't understand. That's why I'm creating this video, you know, to bring that to someone's attention. Because I don't want people to think that, you know, just by eliminating grains, therefore their hair's not going to fall out. Because it very well could continue to fall out, because that may not exactly be the reason why their hair was falling out. So it would be much, you know, you want to have a good strategy in order to combat your hair loss, so that you can find out exactly, well, why is your hair falling out? And there's a lot of things to take into consideration. Did your dad lose hair? Your mom? Your grandparents? Are there people in your family that have lost hair? Is it a genetic thing? Do you have a disease, you know, maybe in your scalp? There's all kinds of reasons why your hair can fall out. And to just say that grains are going to make your hair fall out is kind of really inaccurate and misleading. And it's just kind of, it's biased, really, if that's the right word to use. And it kind of gives this feeling of like, you know, you should only, you know, consume meat and drink dairy. And I will say this, though, and that is that if there was one grain that would cause or be linked to hair loss, it would absolutely be wheat, because of gluten. And if you just go over to hairlossresearch.org, you can read an article called "Wheat Consumption Linked to Hair Loss." And the reason that is because, okay, wheat contains gluten. And of course there's other grains that contain gluten, but just in particular this study was looking at wheat, and it's particular proteins in gluten. And it's largely been known that it can cause an immune system response, which can cause a plethora of symptoms, from inflammation to allergies to chronic fatigue to depression, etc., etc., etc. Get the picture. And so if you have a lot of this inflammation going on in your body, it can basically attack your hair. Okay? Kind of like how acne develops. You know, acne is an inflammatory condition. Well, the same is kind of true with our hair, you know. If inflammation starts attacking the scalp, it can attack the hair follicles, and it can do a lot of real bad damage. And that's not going to be good for your hair, trust me. So, you know, the best thing is to try to, you know, kind of wean yourself off of the wheat and the gluten. But hey, if wheat and gluten doesn't bother you, and you have a full head of hair, you know, and you feel that it's a healthy food for you, then by all means continue to eat it, you know. Again, this is a personal journey for everyone, and everybody's got to figure out what works for them. But I just want to give some good information here so that people can make a good, informed decision about what to put into their bodies. And of course, how to, you know, come up with a good strategy of how to deal with your hair loss. Now, the other thing that I want to mention is that another really big culprit that a lot of people really aren't talking about on YouTube of what causes hair loss is dairy consumption. And, you know, the most experts agree that male pattern baldness is largely caused by basically an overabundance of DHT. It's not that DHT in and of itself is evil, and it's not that that's actually really what causes, your hair loss. I mean, it is, but the thing that's kind of sometimes confusing for people to understand is that, okay, if you have a genetic predisposition to baldness, okay, if you're genetically doomed to go bald because it runs in your family, and you have a lot of this DHT circulating in your body, it's only going to attack your hair follicles quicker, shrink them, and your hair's going to fall out much, much faster. So that's why they say to try to lower DHT or create a good balance of DHT. And that's why I always recommend like things like saw palmetto, maca, nettle root extract, excellent, hishu wu, there's all kinds, tribulus, ashwagandha. These are really awesome herbs that can really help create a good hormonal balance, that helps support the male hormonal system. And the endocrine system gets stronger. Because again, the endocrine system is linked in with our hair. And so if you can strengthen your endocrine system, then that's going to be good for your hair too. So, milk, dairy products contain DHT precursors. A lot of DHT precursors. And it's also been studied and been looked into that high levels of DHT has also been shown to be a cause of acne. And a lot of people that get acne are having hair loss issues because it's both kind of interconnected, interweaved, if you will. And so, that's why some people will recommend taking saw palmetto for their acne, and their acne will actually clear up. Some people take saw palmetto because of their hair, and they may have had acne, and they start noticing that their acne starts clearing up. But it's really because saw palmetto is balancing out those hormones, that overabundance of DHT. And, but yeah, I just want to make sure that you guys know that, yes, DHT is an important hormone because it's something that your body naturally produces. It's just, some of us aren't so blessed to have a full head of hair, and we get, we inherit genetics from our parents. Some people inherit genetics for this luxurious full head of hair, and some of us don't. And so we have to come up with strategies in order to do what's best for us nutritionally to help give us the longest possible time with our hair that we do have. I know I speak very fast, but hear me out, guys. I've been studying this stuff since I was like 13, 14 years old. I've got a lot of experience under my belt. And I'm not bragging or anything. It's just that a lot of these guys on YouTube, some of them don't even say their age because they think that if they don't say their age, that somehow it's going to make them live longer. I haven't ever heard of something like that, but whatever. That's good and all dandy. Everybody's got their own, thing. Actually, I might actually make a video about that because it is kind of interesting to me. But the other thing is that yeah. Okay, so I did get into a lot of this when I was like 13, 14 because I was suffering from some health conditions. And I've tried so many different diets, guys. I was a Weston A. Pricer. I was vegan. I was raw food. I tried macrobiotics even. I tried this other thing called the whey diet. Check out the whey diet. A lot of people never even heard of that before. And that's like a special diet for acne. It's called WAI, whey diet. I've tried a lot of different things. And I kind of sit back here in my chair and I'm watching these new guys here on YouTube, and they don't really have as much experience. Maybe they do, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. But I remember when I was in their shoes, how excited I got because I thought I was on the right track and that this was it, this was it. And I was preaching, the Weston A. Price dogma, and then I was preaching the vegan dogma. I was just like that. And now I'm more kind of balanced and, chilled out. And I just got a lot of good information, and I'm trying to try to make sense of everything. Because I really want to help people. I don't want to just talk about diets and stuff like that. And I want my videos to be more entertaining, and that's why I think you guys are starting to enjoy my videos more, because yes, they are entertaining, and I bring up a lot of good points that a lot of people don't. I'm me on camera, okay? I don't have this, like, I don't act any different in person. I really don't. You know, I'm not a fake. I'm not a fake on cam. I'm speaking from my heart, you know, one-on-one here with you guys. And, because I do care, you know, and the thing is, I actually have male pattern baldness, okay? It's a genetic thing. And I'm getting results. So people out there that are having hair loss, why not take advice from someone that's basically spent the last 13 years studying this stuff, you know? So that you can get results too, you know? No, I'm not promising a panacea and a cure or anything like that. I'm just being realistic and saying that, you know, it's possible that you can, you know, slow these things down and, you know, so yeah, you know, like, don't just assume, you know, that one food group is the cause of all your ills. Because that's, you know, that's just, it's not that simple. It really is not that simple. And that's, very inaccurate. That's why, like, in my videos now, I don't always try to pretend I don't pretend that I'm, like, this super knowledgeable person. I just speak of what I know, and I don't try to pretend that I'm something that I'm not. You know, I don't try to get on here and pretend like I have this PhD, you know, and I don't try to use big words. I'm trying to speak to people like if you were actually here talking with me, like a one-on-one conversation, so that I can actually help, you know. And, but yeah, this is stuff that I've learned from my experience. And I think that if you look into it yourself, you know, because a lot of you aren't going to just take my word for it, but if you do go to like hairlossresearch.org and read those articles, you'll understand. It'll make sense to you. The dots should connect. If the dots don't connect and a lot of this stuff I've said in the video don't make sense to you, then it's possible that you don't want to believe it and you have your own agenda. You know, maybe you just want to continue to promote whatever you're eating or whatever your lifestyle is and trying to push it on other people. I don't want to do that. I'm just saying what's been working for me, and it's been working. And I don't know what these other people are saying because, you know, anybody can say anything. And I've been there, you know, before. So, bottom line is, watch out for the wheat and the gluten because that's been linked to hair loss because of the inflammation. Watch out for dairy products because it's got those precursors to DHT. And oh, one other thing. It says in the beginning of that article, it says in a prior update we featured how wheat, the primary grain consumed in Western culture, can actually cause or aggravate hair loss in those genetically predisposed to male pattern baldness. Dairy, another Western dietary staple, for thousands of years can apparently aggravate androgenetic hair loss via several identified mechanisms as well. Milk consumption has been specifically and conclusively identified as a causal variable in the pathogenesis of acne, which has an almost identical etiology to male pattern baldness. Probably didn't even pronounce that right. But point being is that, guys, if you guys just read these articles, things, I think it'll make a lot of sense to you. And, you know, when I was drinking all that raw, like I was drinking raw grass-fed dairy like a long time ago, and I was going through like 2 gallons of it like a week, and it put a lot of weight on me, and I didn't feel very good at all. It made me severely constipated. My vision started to get blurry. I started to break out in acne a lot, which makes a lot of sense because acne, again, is kind of related to the DHT, and I'm sure my hormones must have been terribly out of balance. Plus the constipation, so yeah, you know, and I noticed that my hairline started to recede even further and it was falling out more. So be careful. And I hope this video made sense to you guys.